Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Faltai's Apothecary. We are here today to talk about the new moon that is happening tonight. We're going to go over some of the astrology. I do have a Monday morning video, which is called Weekly Astrology Forecast, which is kind of like the Cliff Notes version of the astrology for each day. So today we're going to go into it just a little bit more in depth. And then the second part of the video, I am going to talk about different things that you could use during this new moon, either in ritual on your altar space. Morning, Kimberly. Like I said, in ritual or your altar space or just in your home. I like to use things as visuals for myself. So, maybe you're going to use one or two of these things. Maybe you're going to use all of these things, whatever works best for you. Before we get started, let's get a little piece of sage here. My sage bundle is drastically falling apart here as I fight with it. All right. So I just pulled off a little leaf and going to light that and not burn myself, hopefully. All right, so some for you guys. Just kind of take a minute to take a deep breath. Allow yourself to sit here with me for the next hour. The dishes will be there when we're done. The laundry will be there when we're done. The emails, the phone calls will all be there when we're done. Maybe the kids, you might have to take a break if you have kids. But everything else, just allow yourself to just kind of be here and worry about everything else after. So I'm going to put this over here and let it burn. So you might see the smoke. My shop is not on fire. I'm just going to let it naturally burn out. So, all right. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to cover is you are going to most likely see all over the place right now, new moon in Virgo. Not my video. It's going to say new moon in Leo. And because what has happened over the last couple of thousand years, the planets have just shifted a little bit. So they're not aligned where they were when the zodiac charts were made. It's not that the charts were not correct. They were correct. It's just that the prediction of when all the times were going to be so Virgo is set from this date to this date. Leo is set from this date to this date. What has happened, like I said, is over time, the planets have shifted a little bit. And so when we predicted, I don't remember the exact day that the sun goes into Virgo, but it's not quite there yet. It's still in Leo. So we're going to talk about Leo energy today and not Virgo energy, which most places are going to probably talk about Virgo energy. You take that as you will. If you want to work with Virgo energy, that's your choice. If you want to work with Leo energy, that's your choice as well, whichever feels right to you. I'm not going to tell anybody they're right or wrong, but I will let you know that if you actually charted the planets right now and the constellations and all of the things up in the sky, the new moon is technically in Leo. Okay, so this particular new moon is in a trine, so triangle, with Uranus and Jupiter at the moment. So we'll get into that in just a little bit as well, talking about that energy. So really the big meaning of this particular new moon is making positive changes. So, and again, we'll, get into a little bit of why that is and why that's what I chose to work with and what I chose to talk about. So let's see here. So this new moon, some of the general energies of it are going to be generous. So you might be feeling a little generous. You might be feeling very self-controlled right now. So not like all over the place and crazy. And so you might be feeling like you've got quite a bit of self-control right now. You might be feeling a little tenacious as well. So, all good energies, I think. Some of the things that this energy is going to be bringing for us. So, generous, self controlled, and tenacious are some of the energies that we're going to be feeling. Some of the things energies might bring for us is good fortune, honor, and wealth. And when I say wealth, I don't necessarily mean money. I don't particularly not mean money. It could be. Could be you're going to get a raise, a job that pays more, things like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be money. My point right now, where I am in my life, is it's not so much about the money. It's about my path. And so for me, the wealth would be more time to do what I want to do. The money's a bonus, but it's more about doing what I love and making enough money to make a living at it, to be sustainable. But I don't need to feel rich. Like I don't need to feel, as far as money goes, I don't need to be wealthy. But I do need to have enough to sustain my life. So anyway, just a little bit on the word wealth. These words that we've known for however many thousands of years have over time become to mean different things in the English language. I think I can't speak to other languages, but in the English language, like wealth and success and things like that. Success is just being good at whatever it is you want to do. It's not about being wealthy. It's not about wearing fancy suits or expensive clothes or, carrying a Louis Vuitton. um, Success and wealth is about having what you want. So anyway, that's enough rambling about that. The trine. So we have the new moon trine with Uranus and Jupiter. Uranus is about unseen aspects. So there might be something coming, and again, not bad, because this new moon is about making positive changes. So something just might come up that has just maybe kind of fallen off your radar or was kind of flying below your radar, and it's just going to kind of come into view for you. And so, like I said, I don't necessarily think that that's going to be anything to worry about or anything bad, but just something that might come up for you. Uranus is also, again, about progressive change. So, moving forward, being better, making those steps, taking those steps that we need. Uranus can also bring some excitement. So, again, good positive energies there. It's also about some self-awareness. So again, that self-awareness might be what is coming up that's unseen for you. Maybe not. Maybe it's something different, but some self-awareness is going to be coming for you, which is going to lead to some confidence. So all of us could use a nice, good boost of confidence, right? Uranus is, I don't know if I've really talked about this before, but it's kind of ruled, each planet is related, linked to a zodiac. And so the one Uranus is related to is Aquarius. And so we know Aquarius people are progressive thinkers, outside of the box, trying something new. They're about the collective, community, we, not me kind of energy. So that's the energy that's going to be coming through with the Uranus energy. So again, that open-minded, leaving your comfort zone, things like that. It's also going to bring some heightened intuition. So I'm always like super happy when that stuff happens. um, I'm a big advocate for following your intuition. I think you should always follow your intuition. And days when it's heightened, and things might be coming that you maybe weren't expecting. I find it all very exciting, um, intriguing. That's my Scorpio part, I think. I don't know. Could be Sagittarius part of me too, but um, I really want to know like all the things about all the things when it comes to intuition. Like, how did that come to you? Why do you think you got it? Did you follow through with it? Things like that. So, anyway, so Uranus energy is definitely going to be bringing some, like I said, some self-awareness, confidence, thinking outside of the box kind of stuff. So, the other planet that it's in trine with is Jupiter. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you should know that Jupiter is all about positivity. So Jupiter is associated with Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius, again, are those optimistic people. They are inquisitive. I don't know if that's the word I want to use. They're all about wisdom, knowledge, learning. So again, that's, it explains a little bit about me, actually quite a bit about me. And Pisces is all about our emotions. I don't have any Pisces in my chart, but Pisces is about our emotions and being balanced and feeling things. Pisces gets a bad rep as like the over emotional people. And I don't think they're over emotional. I think the rest of us are probably under emotional. And, Pisces is more just about showing how they really feel about things. But so Jupiter energy is going to be very similar to that type of stuff. So positivity, about emotional balance, and again, about just kind of being a little bit inquisitive and wanting to know things. So you can kind of see how the Aquarius of thinking outside of the box, progressive change, Sagittarius wanting to know things, Pisces being emotionally balanced, how all of that could, be making positive, be working towards making positive changes for you. So hope that kind of ties that all together a little bit for you. So the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick is Mercury is going direct. So today is the last day that it is in retrograde. So it'll start moving direct tomorrow. So as of today, as of the new moon tonight, still we have 6 planets in retrograde. And again, I've talked about that, I think, in my last full moon video. But we do have 6 planets. I wrote them down somewhere, but I don't know if I still have it. But anyway, oh yeah, right here. Mercury, Uranus, Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and Pluto are all, see my love sticking out, are all in retrograde as of today. Tomorrow, Mercury will start going direct. So a little bit about that, the 6 planets being in retrograde. What that's going to kind of do is, and if you've probably already kind of felt it, but maybe didn't realize that that's where that energy was coming from. It's the time, and I think it's kind of a natural thing for us this time of year, at least it is for me. It's that time where we want to slow down. We've had summer, we're busy, we've done a bunch of stuff, like especially here in the North Country. Our summers are so short that we try to like cram them full of everything we want to do because we only have so many months of it. So it's super busy for us here. And then, so this is kind of the time of year for me where I want to just kind of slow down. I want to kind of just maybe be inward a little bit. But at the same time, we're wanting to get anything done that we need to get done before winter comes. So, but where I'm going with that is the 6 planets that are in retrograde right now are going to kind of enhance that like slow down feeling, like everything's like, because when the planets go retrograde, that basically it looks like the planets are moving backwards, but they're not. They didn't go in reverse. They're not moving backwards. What happens is they slow down, and Earth doesn't. So it looks like, or the other planets, not just Earth, but all the other planets don't slow down. So it looks like in the sky, if you're looking at it, it looks like the planet is moving backwards, but it's not. It's just slowed down, and other planets are passing it. You must have seen at some point those big planet things where you spin it, and some planets are faster and some planets are slower, and they pass each other and stuff. That's the basic concept. So with 6 planets basically slowing down right now, it's just giving us that same energy of wanting to just kind of slow down, take our time, not necessarily relax, but we're not in a big rush. We're not in a big hurry. We're not feeling frantic about things. And again, they're going to affect everybody differently depending on where their placements are, what's in their chart, their own energy levels. If you're, I don't to say, but if you're an unhealthy person and you're not feeling well and you're tired anyway, that it might not seem like a big difference to you, but for somebody who's very, very active, it might affect them a little bit more of not being like, oh, maybe I don't really feel like doing that right now. I don't really feel like going jogging or whatever. You're not going to catch me jogging. I've told people, if you see me running, you better run too, because something really bad is happening. But you guys, I think, get the point about it. So as of today, there are still 6 planets in retrograde. Starting tomorrow, Mercury is going to be going back direct, which just means basically that it's going to start to speed up and fall in line with the speed of the other planets. So during this time, especially Mercury retrograde, which seems to be the popular one. I don't know why. Like Mercury retrograde gets like all the publicity on social media and whatnot when a lot of the other planets do not. I don't really know why that is. Other than like a lot of times it affects our technology, and we are very technology based right now. So maybe that's why. But anyway, during Mercury retrograde, I've advised people, like, don't make big decisions, don't make life-changing decisions, don't wake up one morning and just decide you're going to run out and get married to the guy you met last night. Things like that. But what I do recommend during times of any retrograde, depending on what the planet is kind of linked, associated with, is to take that time to reflect, right? So rest, reflect, and reorganize, or repurpose, or replan. That's not really a word, but just kind of regroup. So that's my recommendation during retrogrades, is to just kind of take that time to do some reflecting. And so with that being said, with Mercury going direct as of tomorrow, and again, I recommend giving it 2 or 3 days just because energies can linger. But if there was something during that time when Mercury, I think it went retrograde on like August 23rd, if if I remember correctly, and till today. So tomorrow it will be going direct. During that time of your resting and reflecting and reorganizing, if something came to you that you've been, like, because I've recommended to you guys to hold on to that, like, if it's really important, and don't act on it, don't make that decision, but hold on to it until after. So in the next couple of days during this new moon energy, and making positive changes, like, that might be a good time to incorporate some of those things that you've reflected upon, some of those things that might be making positive changes. So, that might be a good time to incorporate some of these things for the new moon in Leo in making positive changes. Maybe some of those things that came to you during Mercury retrograde that, again, I recommended you didn't act on, like, moving forward now into this new moon in this new cycle, might be a time that you might want to decide to make those changes. So, all right. I hope that explained some things for you. So we're going to move over into the tools kind of version. So the first part is the astrology. The second part is the tools. So we're going to move over into the tools section. I made myself a nice cup of tea to sit with you guys. It is, I put willow bark in there, and I put some mullein in there, and then I put some elderberry in there, and then some local honey from my cousin has bees. And it's very yummy. So anyway, the first thing we're going to start off with is affirmations. And again, I'm going to put it in the comments section. Oh my gosh, English is hard. Not because I don't think you guys can understand me, which you might have problems understanding me sometimes when I talk, but it's just so if you want to write it down and you don't have a pen or paper while you're watching this, and you want to write it down, it's just in the comments. You don't have to like scroll through the video to try to find it. So all right, so you'll see at the end there, I left that open. So the affirmation for Leo is I draw my strength from, and then I left it open. And the reason I left it open is because these videos are for everybody. We must have been in the same mood this morning, Kimberly. So she says she's having elderberry, jasmine, and raw honey. So the affirmation, the reason I left it open at the end is because, like I was saying, is these videos are for everybody. I follow a Celtic tradition, more of a Druid, pagan kind of lifestyle, where somebody else might be very Wiccan, or somebody else might be Catholic, somebody else might be Buddhist. There's more religions out there than I could name. So the reason I left it open is so you can put in whatever it is that you want in there. For me, I might use the word spirit. So I draw my strength from spirit. I might put the universe. So I draw my strength from the universe. I might put Mother Nature. I might say Gaia. But somebody else might say Archangel Michael. Somebody might say God. Somebody might say Source. Somebody might say Ganesha. So whatever that looks like for you, that's why I left it open at the end, to fill in whatever the word is that resonates with you. I'm a big believer that they're all the same. They're just different. They're just different names that we've given the source, the one, whatever you want to call it, him, her, it. It's all the same. it just appears to us as we need it to. So anyway, so there's a good affirmation. And again, if you're new to watching my videos, affirmations are just things that you repeat to yourself over and over again, to just kind of like imbibe yourself with that. I like to say my affirmations when I'm doing things that are kind of mindless: stirring the honey in my tea, making a cup of coffee, stirring the pasta sauce on the stove, washing my hair in the shower. Things that you have to do on a regular basis that really doesn't take much brain power. Like, you really don't need to focus too much on it. And so, you can kind of say those affirmations. Say them while you're driving, but still pay attention to your actual driving. So you don't necessarily need to set time aside for an affirmation, but if you want to, that's great. If you wanted to work with a mala, it has a mala is a strand of beads that has 108 beads on it. I don't have one handy to show you. And so you start at the beginning and you move to each bead and you say your affirmation until you get all the way around to the end. So that's a really nice kind of meditative thing to do. It's also helpful, like if you have a hard time sleeping, just to kind of help you kind of clear your mind before you go to bed. But whatever you choose or however you choose to work with affirmations is completely up to you. So the next thing we're going to move on to is tarot cards. The tarot card is the Strength card. And yeah, there's your Leo, there's your lion right there. So all about strength. But, when you think about the lion, kind of the king of the jungle. They're confident, they're graceful, they have a strength about them, inner and outer strength. And we don't think of it quite so much, but the lion really is about balance, the cycle of life, the food chain cycle, the way the world works, the way the seasons work and stuff. It's all about balance. And the lion, again, is all about that balance. So if you want, I will take a picture of this and put it in the Facebook group page, which is Lady Faltai's Light Healer. If you have your own tarot deck you want to work with, that's great. I literally set mine here in front of my computer screen, and it sits there until the next full moon, when I will change it out to whatever the next card is going to be to work on. And it's just a really great visual for me to remember, strength, confidence, grace, balance. It's those. I'm really all about the visual reminders. So, if you need a different way to work with them, let me know. I'll try to help you as much as I can. But for me, it's really all about the visuals. So, and you can make this your screensaver on your phone if you wanted to. Like I said, I sit it right here. I spend a lot of time at this desk. Pretty much every day I'm here several times a day. So they're really great visuals. Like the card we picked for the week is sitting right here as well. So those are all right there where I can see them right in front of my screen. So I will try to remember to take a picture of that. I'll actually set it on top of my phone, and that way I won't forget. All right, the next thing is archetypes. And really, you could just work with, I had the heat on in here because it was chilly this morning, but now it's getting too warm. Did it turn off? No? No? There we go. My battery might be going. So for archetypes, you certainly could pick the lion if you wanted to. I went with something a little bit different, but very similar, because the archetypes are going to reflect the zodiac So they're going to be very similar no matter what you pick. But I picked the leader. So again, the lion is kind of like the king, right? And so in that aspect, they're very similar. But a leader is going to be somebody who's confident. The leader is going to be somebody who's, accomplished, somebody who has that inner strength, somebody who might be a little bit dramatic. Um, so again, you can see where that all is very similar to the lion, which are again all very similar to the energies of the Leo. So that kind of all ties in together. But so what I like to do is I didn't do it today. I totally spaced it. Sorry. Is I like to Google. I'll just go in and type archetype the leader and then click images, and I'll scroll through until I find something that just kind of resonates with me. So what resonates with me is not going to necessarily be what resonates with you. And so I'll just scroll through till I find something that speaks to me, catches my eye, whatever it is that kind of makes me stop and go, "Ooh, I like that one." And I will put that either like a wallpaper or my screensaver or my lock screen or whatever on my phone. And sometimes I leave it there till the next full moon or new moon. Sometimes I only leave it there a couple of days. It depends on how I'm feeling. I just go with it. So there's no right or wrong way. It's not like you have to leave it on your phone till the next full moon or new moon. It's till whenever you feel like you've done your work with it and you can, move on and do something different. But again, like I said, you could take the picture of the tarot card, either this card particular, or if you have your own deck that you prefer, or if you want to use the traditional tarot deck, whatever, is your cup of tea. All right, so stones is the next thing we're going to talk about. So the first one I picked is carnelian. And carnelian is generally used, most people are going to use it around creativity. But it's also about passion, and it's also about optimism. So the card I have here for it, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll give you some of the Cliff Notes version of it. For ambition, confidence, stability, boosts your energy, um, enhances creativity, restores motivation. So, really, we're tying in that optimism of Jupiter, right? So, and the confidence of the Leo could be in there as well. So, some carnelian if you wanted to work with that. All right, the next one I have is howlite, and hopefully the camera will pick that up. Howlite's an interesting one. It looks like what we would see on our kitchen counters, right? Wouldn't that be neat to have a whole kitchen counter made of howlite? All right, so howlite, what I picked it for again is positivity. In the card I have here, I'll just kind of Cliff Note version it again for you. It's good for calming. It's good for relieving stress. It's good for reducing anger. It transforms one's aggressiveness into positivity. So that's kind of what I picked it for. Decreases critical state of mind, moderates selfishness. So again, some confidence kind of in there for you, and appeases anxiety. Encourages emotional expression, bringing wisdom, and can be used for insomnia. I didn't pick it for that, but so yeah, some howlite for you. I think it's a really interesting stone that you can like look at them and see all the different little lines in there for you. So, all right. So the last one I've got for today is some tiger's eye. And again, camera is not picking it up super great, but see that yellowy golden sheen in there. All right, so the reason I picked it is for wealth. And again, we've talked about the wealth of, what the meaning is in my terms, maybe not your terms, but in my terms. Wealth is an abundance of whatever it is that we need. Doesn't necessarily have to be money. So again, the card is about focus, clarity, um, maintain wealth, um, sharpens your senses, boosts determination, um, decreases the need for binging or other excessive patterns. So that could be used if you're trying, in this particular new moon, if you're trying to break a habit, that might be a good one to work with. It brings calm and wisdom and power harmoniously. That's kind of a weird wording, but so yeah, some tiger's eye. All right, so now we're going to move over into herbs/oils. And again, I put those together because there's no one or the other way to work with them. It's not that essential oils are better than herbs. So you can work with them however you have them. You can work, if you have a couple of them in herbs and a couple of them in an oil, that's fine. If you only have one in an oil, that's fine. Whatever you have on hand, you can work with that. I am always letting you guys know you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on things. You don't have to buy all the things. I know I want to. And that's a shopping problem for me. But you don't have to. Like I was saying, you don't. You can put the picture on your phone and just work with it that way. You don't have to go out and buy 500 different statues to swap out on your altar space, depending on what sign the moon is in. You don't need to go out and buy super expensive tarot cards unless you want to. Excuse me. It can be done fairly inexpensively. I've talked about in the past, go to the dollar store, buy a frame, buy some paint, buy some whatever it is that you like. If you're a flowery person, paint it pink, put glitter on it, glue flowers all over it. For me, I would paint it probably black and it would have maybe pine cones or moss, some sticks on it, or maybe you want to paint it blue and glue some sand and some seashells on it, and make it yours. And then you can change out whatever the picture is. You can, if you have a printer at home and you can print out things, you can print it out and put it in your frame. So there's lots of things that you can do to work with these things and not have to go spend a ton of money unless you really want to. But anyway, back to herbs and oils. Whatever you have on hand is perfectly fine. And if you only have one of them, that's fine. The first one is lemon verbena, and I picked that for its positivity. The next one I picked is rose, which is really good for our intuition. And then ginger, which is really good. Ginger has kind of, what's the word I want to use? Is used to enhance, I'm not sure that's the word, to add power to whatever it is you're trying to do. It's also known to help speed up. So if you were using it, for example, in manifesting something, and you put everything in there for whatever it is you're particularly manifesting, then if you threw in some ginger, it would be to speed up whatever you're manifesting. So we're going to put some ginger in there, but it was more for just enhancing, adding that extra bit of power for it. So, and like I said, you can use these however you want. All of those can be used in a tea if you want to. We've all had ginger tea, but you could put lemon, verbena, and rose if you have the herbs. You can put all of that in a tea. You could throw all of that in your bath water. And if you're going to do that, I do want to point out, do not use dried roses from the flower shop unless you specifically ask for like organic, non-treated roses. Um, so a lot of the flowers that come from the flower shop, most all the flowers that come from the flower shops are treated. They're put in things to preserve them. They're chemicals added to make the flowers different colors, things like that. And so you don't want that in your petals, in your bath water, or in your tea. So just make sure. I have rose petals here that are organic, so there no chemicals, nothing added to them. So you could use those in a tea, in a bath water, however you wanted, tincture, whatever you want to do with it, and it's okay. But don't use ones from the your husband or wife or whoever got you a bouquet of roses. Don't use those. Those are, again, side note here, those are really good. I like to dry them and use them as decorations. So you could glue the dried rosebud onto that frame. A lot of times what I do is I dry them and then I just clip them as close to the flower bud. It's not really a bud, but the flower as possible. And then I might scatter them around my altar space, like different ones. And if you have different colored ones, then you can work with the colors, which we'll talk about that in a minute too. So those are really great, easy ways to incorporate the rose energy and color into your altar space if that's something you wanted to do. But so again, you can work with them however you want. You could also make an incense with them if you have a charcoal burner and charcoal. You could sprinkle a little bit of all of those on top of a rose burner, a charcoal burner, and have the incense. A good trick too with charcoal is you could sprinkle a little bit of sand on top of it before you put your incense on it, just because sometimes things burn really fast and then you kind of get just like a burnt smell, which isn't super pleasant. So if you put a little bit of sand on your charcoal and then put your herbs on top, you don't get quite that burnt roses smell so much. So just a little hint there. Or like I said, you can use the essential oils. You can, as long as your essential oils are good quality essential oils, put those in your bath water. You can put those in any kind of like Scentsy burner, anything like that. You can put it in your diffusers. I have one here in the shop that, I put a lot lavender in a lot of times when I'm doing massages for people to just kind of relax. But so again, you can use it that way as well. So again, whatever you have on hand is perfectly fine. And really, like if you don't have any of those and you wanted to work with something, you can usually get ginger at the grocery store. Again, be aware that it may not be organic. So just if you can get organic, do that. But if you can't, then don't use it like in a tea or in your bath, because it may have pesticides or chemicals or whatever on it. I don't know. But so yeah. But I think most places you can probably get organic if you look for it. So anywho, that is herbs and oils. So switching over to colors. So colors are pretty easy in this one. And again, I love how it just kind of ties in for me anyway. I'm in an area where our leaves are starting to turn colors. And so those colors are out there right now for me anyway. But so it's going to be very fiery energy. Leo is a fire sign. And so it's very fiery colors. So what you would think of, oranges, reds, golds, yellows, those kind of colors that you would think of as a fire. And like I was saying, our leaves are changing right now. So they're changing to red and orange and yellow naturally. So I'm kind of getting slowly surrounded by those colors. But again, I recommend just going to the dollar store and getting placemats that are different colors so you can easily swap them out on your altar space to bring color in that way. Ribbons are a really great, easy way. Sorry, my motion detector's going off. I don't know why, but I thought I muted that. Ribbons are a really great way to change out colors. I do it all the time. I have vases I change ribbons on. I have lanterns that hang in my living room that I change the ribbons on, a broom on my back door. You guys get the point. So candles are another great way to work with color. You can buy candles in like multicolored packs and work with those that way. It's super easy to work with colors. It's, again, can be, fairly inexpensive if you want it to be. You can paint things to be colors that you want to work with, whatever is speaking to you to do that. So, but yeah, so, and I was kind of interested in the fact that, again, like I talked about, like red, orangey, yellow, and there is our carnelian that's kind of got all of those colors in there. And then like the golden color, which golden yellow is in our tiger's eye. So just a little bit of a breakdown. Orange is about magnetism. So again, Leos have very those types of personalities. Red is that kind of like, pay attention to me. I'm important. Look at me. Red is an attention getter, and Leos love to be center of attention. So you can see where that kind of falls in. And gold is very much about being glorious, right? If people are covered in gold, you would be like, ooh, they must be important, So that is, again, bringing in that Leo energy of, they're very impressive, right? People wearing gold, you would be very impressed by them. So maybe not necessarily for, but it's that kind of energy. Leaves are changing in Ohio too. Nice. You guys have, I'm, when it comes to geographical stuff, like, don't even ask me. I'm horrible. I don't know where anything is. I mean, I know basically like where Florida and California are. And I know where New Hampshire, like Vermont and Maine are. But like after that, like, don't ask me geographical stuff because I'm not any good at it. And I don't know, it's never really been anything I've really been too interested in about like weather and things at different places. So I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to that stuff, but that's nice that you are getting those leaves changing as well for you, and getting some of those reds and oranges and yellows that are going to kind of bring that energy for you. So that's nice. All right, where are we? Almost done. Journal prompt. And again, going to put it in the chat, not because I don't think you guys can understand English, but just if you want to write it down. I have to learn how to spell. Yep. Autocorrect. Thank you. All right. I think I typed that right. How can I be more courageous and take action? So again, if you're new to journal prompts are just get a piece of paper and a pen, pencil, whatever, and sit down with that question and just write. Don't worry about paragraphs. Don't worry about sentences. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about making complete sentences, whatever. Like, even if it's just individual words that come to you, um, whatever comes to you, write it down, and give yourself a good 10, 15 minutes if you can. And I mean, if you don't need that long, that's fine. If you take longer, that's fine too. But 10 to 15 minutes is about a normal time to do a journal prompt. And just like I said, write down whatever it is that comes to you. And then after, if you want to go back and, fix it and make grammar adjustments and whatnot, that's fine. But it's really about um, getting out of your head the like I said, the grammar, the punctuality, all of that, and just letting your brain process and flow naturally without being interrupted for, like, oh, I forgot to put a period here, or I forgot to put a comma here. And just letting your brain go where it wants to go naturally, and just getting that all down. And I find a lot of times people will be like, I wrote things down that I like didn't really think that I would, or again, something unseen might appear for you, something that was there, maybe under your radar or in the back of your mind, that might come forward for you. Maybe something that you know, been wanting to do and you didn't really realize that's what it was. It, anyway, where I'm going with that is it can be profound for you if you really let it flow and go, and let it just kind of spill out onto the paper. And again, not worry about being all punctual and grammar and spelling and all that crap. Um, so um, so that's a really good way to kind of process through maybe what it is, where you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to do things. So, again, we're talking about, embodying that courage, that strength of the Leo energy, and making positive changes. So, how can I be more courageous and take action? Whatever that action looks like for you. It might be small baby steps. It might be a big, whole process thing for you. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever comes through for you. It's not a competition of like, oh, well, Betty had something that was much more bigger than mine. It doesn't matter. You don't want what Betty wants. You know, you want what you want. Betty wants what Betty wants. So, just kind of really letting that process just kind of take over and do its thing. So, all right. So the last thing is a do-it-yourself project. And this one's a super easy one. I try to pick easy ones. Maybe as time goes by and I have maybe some more time still, like I'm done school, I'm done my part-time job, and right now I'm just kind of trying to play catch up in here, like doing paperwork, doing accounting, um, getting clients, organizing things. So I'm still, spending a lot of time doing that. So, again, as things process through, hopefully I will have more time. And maybe we'll do some videos of some bigger projects, like, hands-on, like step-by-step kind of project. I used to do those and I miss them, making things with you guys and making my own tools. I've been missing that. So that might be down the road somewhere for us. Maybe like in January, we'll start a series where I do one a month or something, But anyway, the easy do-it-yourself one is something that I love to do at this time of year is a simmer pot. And it makes the house smell amazing. It's a great way to work with the plant energy. And, you can make a simmer pot And when the water, as the water boils off or simmers off, I just keep adding water to it. And, you know, you can use the same simmer pot, for usually 3-4 days. Then after that, sometimes some of the, depending on what you put in there, might start to get a little funky or moldy. So depending on what you want to put in there. Some of the typical things that I put in there, things that I always put in there: cinnamon sticks, bay leaves, and clove. Always go in my simmer pot. Doesn't even matter what time of year it is. Those go in my simmer pot always. But then it might depend on what I have on hand. Maybe it's a sliced orange. Maybe it's a sliced apple. Maybe it's some ginger root. You know, whatever it is that you kind of have on hand to make. You can put flowers in it as well. If you have flowers that are growing right now, wherever you are, you could put some petals in there. You could put the rose and the lemon verbena and the ginger in a simmer pot. And that would be a nice smell in the house for you as well, and a great way to work with that plant energy. So yeah, so if you do a simmer pot, I would really love for you guys to take a picture and go over to the Facebook group page and put that in there, put a picture in there, or just tell me that you made it and what you put in it. Not only because I love to see what you guys do, but I think it helps other people come up with ideas, you know, give them some motivation, give them some ideas of things that they can do themselves that are really simple and easy as well. So, but yeah, that's going to finish it up for today for us. So I hope something in here was helpful for you. Please share, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, all those things I'm supposed to say. And as always, remember to be kind. It's free. It's going to change someone's life, could potentially change your life, and it really could make a big impact on you or someone else or both. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Have a great day.